Hey, Master Coach G here, and thank you for joining me here on Thriving After 50, Mind, Body, Soul. And in this episode, I'm going to talk about the 3 A's. And these are 3 principles that will assist us in improving the quality of our life. And as you know, that's what this podcast is all about, is improving the quality of our lives. So the 3 principles, when applied, will absolutely change the course of our lives. Now, you want to know what the 3 A's are? Awareness, accountability, and adjustments. That's what I'm going to be talking about in this episode here on Thriving After 50, Mind, Body, Soul. So join me. I look forward to sharing with you. Good day and welcome to Thriving After 50, Mind, Body, Soul. I am your host, Master Coach G, and welcome. It's such an honor to share with you today. And I am going to just kind of come out the gate with setting a foundation, because I think it's important to have a strong foundation to build on, because everything going forward is going to be based on these 3 principles that I want to share with you today. Everything's going to be centered around these 3 things. However, we'll talk about other subjects, but this will still be the foundation of what it is that the show is really about. And I am looking forward to sharing with you about the 3 A's, what I refer to as the 3 A's, and the 3 principles that have improved the quality of my life, and I know will do the same for you. So let me just go ahead and dig right in. The 3 A's are awareness, accountability, adjustments. So let me say that again. The 3 A's are awareness, accountability, and adjustments. Now, I probably will spend a little bit more time on the awareness, because I think that it's really important, because it really does. That's where change and how it really happens. It's just kind of being having the awareness. So the awareness is knowledge or perception of a situation or a fact. And awareness is really the first step into making any kind of change, because we can't address, change, fix, or upgrade any issue, habit, unwanted behavior that we're unaware of. We have to be aware of it in order to make the change. But once we're aware of the issue, the habit, or unwanted behavior, then we can come up with a strategy. We can put a strategy in place so that we can practice that strategy on a daily basis, because now we're aware of whatever the issue is. So that way we can start to see the change, because we are aware of what it is that we need to do in order for that to happen. So I want to really talk about just a little bit about the importance of awareness. It is one of the essential ingredients of developing our beliefs. That's my belief. Being aware gives us insight to our beliefs, whether they are positive or whether they're holding us back. And if we are aware, then it gives us knowledge. And if we have knowledge, then we have what we need to do what we need to do, so we know which direction we need to go in. To me, there is nothing like going hard in the pain, as they say, and finding out that you're going in the wrong direction. So that's why we need to be aware, because we could be going full force, full throttle, and going in the wrong direction. So that's why we need to check our awareness, so that we can make the changes and make the improvements. But we also want it to be where we're going to have lasting results with that. That's what the outcome, that's the outcome that we're looking for, is that it's going to be something that's going to be a lifestyle, life-changing. It's important to identify any belief that may be holding us back. And we also need to come up with a strategy on how to change those things, kind of like reframing them. Everything that's bad, may not work for us, but we could also look at a positive in that and turn it around for something good that we may be able to utilize, because we learn from everything, even our mistakes. So we can still take that as a lesson and learn something from it. And that's why awareness is so important, because you are aware of the lesson. You are aware of what it is that you needed to know from that situation. So that's why awareness is so key. Because if it's something that's holding us back, then we definitely need to be aware of it so that we can make the changes. It definitely gives us insight what we need to do in order to move forward. So once we're aware and we have the knowledge of what we need to do and the direction that we need to go, then we can go ahead and start to move forward in a forward direction. Not just kind of all willy-nilly all over the place, but we know what direction we're going. Here is, I think, an important key for me when it comes to awareness. I believe that awareness allows us to become proactive versus reactive. It's like if you have a habit, or let's use a habit. Let's say you have a habit that you want to change. Okay, I'll use myself because I can talk about me. So I used to have this bad habit of eating milk duds. I just have to confess, I just had this really bad habit. I used to buy like 3 or 4 boxes at a time, put them in the freezer, just be like crunching away, and it was a bad habit. But I wanted to stop the habit. But what I had to do was, I had to replace that with something. I still wanted to have pretty much the same effect, which was the caramel and the chocolate. I wanted to have the same effect, but it's like, okay, well, you have to find something different that's going to give you a little of what you want. It's not going to be the milk duds, but so what I had to do is I had to shift. I had to buy something different. Because if I continued to buy the milk duds, then I was going to continue to have the same reaction, which was by the time I finished eating 4 boxes of milk duds, and I was like totally upset with myself. So now the reaction to that is just being upset with myself when I could have done something before that, which was just don't go down the candy aisle, which I don't anymore. But so being proactive is key. But the thing is that, in order to do that, we do have to know, we have to be aware and have that plan in place. But we have to be able to dig to the root of what our beliefs are about that thing, whatever that is, because that is what influences our behavior. And that's with anything. And that's why we have to get to the root of it. Now, this will require some work. Yep, it will. And it's okay, because in order to improve, there's just work that has to be done. That's just what it is. And it's okay, but you have to be willing to do that. But I think that it's not like it's going to be something where we have to understand it doesn't have to be anything drastic at one time. I think the place that we need to start is to just make some time to look at what we do, and then look at why we do what we do. I think that's a really good place to start, because that gives us insight on the awareness of who we are, and it's like, okay, why do this, and this, but why do I do that? So the awareness of it is how change come about. Change doesn't just happen. It comes about because you are aware of something, a situation or a fact. Now you're aware of it, but now you're able to improve that, and you can have a positive outcome, because now you can use that. It's like the good thing about the awareness is that, you become more aware of other things. And that's the whole thing. It's like once you become aware that you are aware, it just kind of spills over to so many other areas in your life. And it's like, you just become aware of more things. And I think that's the beauty of it. It's like everything else is just like illuminated. And I think that is the great thing about becoming aware. And here's another nugget that I like to share is that becoming aware of our strengths our weaknesses, our personality, and our motives. Okay, I think it's important for us to be aware of our strengths and our weaknesses, our personality and our motives. I think those things are important because it develops pretty much who we are. And it also lets us become more aware of what drives us. When we understand our strengths and our weaknesses, and I know that, most of the time people say, oh, don't focus on the weakness, but there's something still to be learned in that. And that's why I think it's definitely worth examining along with the strengths, because you could always improve. And it may be a weakness, but it doesn't have to remain a weakness in that aspect. And our personality, we are who we are and we do what we do, but I still think it's key for us to examine that along with our motives. What are our motives? Because we have to understand that those things drive us, and we need to be aware of that. So here's a little task that I like to share, and I kind of did it myself, and I thought it was pretty cool. So I want to share it with you. Is to take some time and brainstorm, and then highlight all the things that you would like to become more aware of in your life. And just jot them down and just kind of dwell on that and look at that and sit with it for a couple of days and see how that works for you. Okay. So yeah, try that. I think that would be pretty cool. And hit me up and let me know, how it worked or if it worked at all. And the next thing I want to talk about is the accountability. Okay. Now, the thing about accountability is an obligation to and willingness to accept the responsibility for your own actions. That's what accountability is. So what I want to add to that is accountability with no judgment. Because sometimes we can say that we did something. However, there's a but sometimes, and that but is like almost like justifying why we did it. But really the but is judgment upon ourselves. So that's why we kind of justify why we did it. But just holding ourselves accountable, period. And just sitting with that and accepting that allows us to be aware of our own actions. But we don't want to judge ourselves. So we don't have to justify our behavior, because once we hold ourselves accountable, then it allows us to be able to become more aware of the issue, the habits, the unwanted behavior that we may be displaying. But holding ourselves accountable also is a result of a form of integrity, and that is something that we all want to have, but all at the same time, you got to hold yourself accountable, because once you are aware of what it is that you did or didn't do, then you can take the next step. And holding yourself accountable is just that, just taking ownership. I mean, that one's pretty simple. The next one is adjustments. Yes. Which is small alterations or movements made to achieve a desired outcome. That's what adjustments are. Small alterations or movement made to achieve the desired outcome. Now, this is the last step, which is adjustments. That making adjustments according to, please listen to this, making adjustments according to what you discovered about the awareness and the accountability. Make adjustments according to those two things. Make adjustments according to your awareness and your accountability, because you discovered something through that part, and so you make the adjustments according to what you discovered through your assessment on your awareness and your accountability, because this will allow you to be able to deal with the issue of unwanted behavior, because now you're focusing on the thing that is causing that unwanted behavior, and you're taking action to adjust and practice. And yes, you do have to practice, because it's not something that's going to happen automatically. Because if it was, then you would already be doing it. So yes, it's going to take practice. But that's how you develop the change. It's through practice. And we all have to practice whatever it is that we want to be good at, or whatever we have to change. It's just like if you see anybody who's really great at what they do, I'll just kind of use Michael Jordan for an example, because pretty much everybody know who Michael Jordan is. But, when Michael Jordan was performing out on the court, we saw his greatness on the court, but what we didn't see is how he developed that. That was behind the scenes. So, you can develop. Once you continue to practice, you develop the change. And that's how you get the lasting results. So here's some key benefits that I want to share that I think would be involved with the adjustment process of change, because it helps us to develop resilience. We all have gone through changes and challenges in our lives, but those changes and challenges has better equipped us to handle some life issues. And as a result of that, we have become resilient. And I do believe that leads to personal development, and you may not look at it in that aspect, but it does grow us personally, which develops us, and it helps us to acquire new abilities, like learning how to take something that may have been a negative and turn it around to something positive. So we can acquire new abilities to do that. We can acquire the abilities of setting the stage for changing our thought process, which gives us a whole nother viewpoint. So there's quite a bit of good things that can come out of that leads to that personal development, because it is a vantage point from both aspects, whether it's professional or personal, because that development it's always a good thing to develop yourself and become better. So listen, that's what I have this week for you today, and I hope that it is something that will benefit you, that will add value to your life. And remember that knowledge applied is power. Knowledge applied is power. And if we take the power, we take the knowledge, and we apply the principles, that's where our power is. So I'm Master Coach G, and I'll see you on the next broadcast. I'll see you on the next level. Hey, I just want to thank you for joining me here on Thriving After 50, Mind, Body, Soul. If you were able to glean some nuggets from this episode, become a subscriber, and every time that I drop something, you will receive a notification. Oh, please like it, please share it, so that someone else will be able to glean and receive some information that will also help them to improve their health and their quality of life. I appreciate you. Thank you. Coach G here, and I'll see you on the next level.